It's her first baby too, my mom said, adjusting the ribbon on a pink gift bag. You can't expect us to miss it. The hospital room smelled like antiseptic and plastic curtains. My surgery was scheduled for the next morning. Life-saving, according to the cardiologist who had repeated the phrase 3 times while explaining the risks. Hi everyone, my name is Avery. I sat propped up against stiff white pillows while my parents stood near the door like visitors who had somewhere better to be. It's just a dog's birthday party, I said quietly. It's not just a dog, my sister corrected over speakerphone. She's family. My dad shrugged. Your procedure will take hours anyway. Hours. Like my survival had become inconvenient scheduling. I watched my mom tie the ribbon tighter around the gift bag. She's been planning this for months, she added. You understand. I did understand. Just not the way they expected. Duly noted, I said calmly. They kissed my forehead like they were leaving a casual appointment, not the night before surgeons opened my chest. When the door closed, the room felt very large. A nurse came in to check my family coming tomorrow, she asked kindly. I smiled faintly. No, I said. They have a party. And that was the moment something inside me changed. The surgery started at 7:30 a.m. I remember the anesthesiologist asking me to count backward while the ceiling lights blurred into white halos. My phone sat on the tray beside the bed. No messages. No calls. Just a notification from my sister's Instagram story. I watched it once before they wheeled me away. Pink balloons. A banner that read Happy First Birthday, Bella. My parents stood behind the cake smiling. My mom had posted the caption herself. Celebrating our granddog's big day. Hundreds of hearts floated underneath. The next thing I remember was waking up in recovery. Pain pressed against my chest like something heavy had been set on top of me. Which, technically, had. A nurse noticed my eyes open. Welcome back, she said gently. Did it work? I whispered. It went well, she replied. The surgeon's very happy with the outcome. Relief should have been the loudest feeling. Instead, it was something quieter. Clarity. My phone buzzed again an hour later. Another Instagram notification. My sister posted a group photo from the party. My parents were still there, still smiling. I looked at the picture for a long time. Then I typed one text to my mother. Duly noted. She sent back a heart emoji. That was the entire conversation. Recovery was slow, not dramatic. Just long hours staring at hospital ceilings while machines monitored every quiet beat of my heart. My parents never visited. They texted twice. Once to ask if the surgery went okay. Once to send a photo of Bella wearing a tiny gold crown. Wasn't she adorable? My mom wrote. I replied with a single word. Yes. That was the last message I sent them from the hospital. 3 days later, my doctor cleared me for discharge. The nurse asked if someone was coming to pick me up. No, I said. She hesitated. Do you want us to call someone? I already did. 10 minutes later, a black sedan pulled up outside the hospital entrance. My accountant stepped out. Not a driver. Not a stranger. The man who had quietly managed my financial life for years. He opened the door for me carefully. How are you feeling, Avery? He asked. Sore, I admitted. He nodded. Understandable. As the car pulled away, I looked back at the hospital once. Did you review the accounts? I asked. Yes. And the transfers? Ready whenever you say. I watched the city pass by through the window. Tomorrow morning, I said quietly. Let's restructure everything. The next morning began quietly. Sunlight through my apartment windows. Pain medication still softening the edges of every movement. At 8:03 a.m., my accountant called. Before we proceed, he said carefully, I want to confirm you're certain. I am. Removing them from the accounts will affect several things. I know. For years, my parents had believed my dad's consulting work covered their expenses. Mortgage assistance, utility autopay, my sister's car insurance. The truth was simpler. My company had covered everything. Not loudly, not publicly, just quietly, every month. Start with the joint account, I said. Done. And the credit cards? They'll stop working today. I leaned back against the couch slowly, careful of the healing incision across my chest. Good. Your parents may notice quickly, he added. They will. By noon, my phone lit up. Dad first. Something's wrong with the house payment.
I'm sure there is, I replied.
Mom texted seconds later. Electric company says our card declined.
I watched the messages stack calmly. Finally my sister called. Did you change something? She asked sharply.
Yes.
Why? I thought about the hospital bed.
The Instagram balloons.
The gold crown.
Because, I said quietly, my life apparently ranked below a dog's birthday party. The silence on the line lasted longer than I expected.
Then my sister laughed.
You're being ridiculous, she said. That had nothing to do with money. It had everything to do with priorities, I replied calmly. You can't just cut off the house payments because you're emotional. I sat carefully on the edge of my couch, the healing stitches pulling slightly with the movement. I didn't cut them off because I'm emotional, I said. I cut them off because I'm observant. Dad joined the call a minute later. What exactly did you stop paying? He asked.
Mortgage support. Utilities. Your 2 credit cards.
And Emily's car insurance.
Another pause.
That's impossible, he muttered. My consulting income covers the house. No, I corrected quietly. It doesn't.
Mom's voice entered the background.
What is he saying?
Dad answered her slowly.
He says he's been paying everything.
Don't be dramatic, she snapped.
That's not true. I didn't interrupt. Because proof speaks louder than explanations. 5 minutes later, Dad came back on the phone.
His voice sounded different now.
The bank confirmed the transfers came from your account, he said carefully.
Yes.
Since when? 3 years.
And suddenly no one sounded amused anymore.
No, my mom said immediately in the background. That's not possible.
Dad didn't argue this time.
Because the bank had already confirmed it.
3 years of transfers. Mortgage supplements.
Utility payments routed through my company's secondary account.
My sister spoke again, but the confidence was gone.
Why would you do that without telling us? I took a slow breath, careful not to pull the healing stitches across my chest. Because helping family isn't supposed to come with an announcement.
Silence settled over the line. Then my mom said something that almost made me laugh.
Well, if you've been helping, then you should keep helping.
The sentence landed like a stone. I closed my eyes briefly.
Did you visit the hospital?
I asked.
No, but. Did you call before the surgery?
Another pause.
We knew you'd be fine, she said defensively. I looked down at the faint scar line beneath the bandage.
You knew, I repeated softly. My dad cleared his throat.
What do you want from us?
There it was. Not concern. Transaction.
I want acknowledgement, I said. For what? My sister asked. That my life mattered more than a birthday party.
No one answered.
And that silence told me everything. The line stayed open.
No one rushed to apologize.
No one even attempted the usual half-sincere, "We're sorry you feel that way."
My mom finally spoke.
You're exaggerating, she said stiffly. We didn't think the surgery was that serious.
I almost admire the consistency.
Even now, the problem wasn't what they did.
It was how I interpreted it.
I see, I replied quietly.
My sister tried a different angle.
Look, Bella only turns 1 once.
That sentence sealed it. My dad sighed.
The house payment is due next week.
Of course it was.
And the utilities, my mom added quickly. They'll need to be paid. I agreed.
Another silence.
You're really going to make us handle everything ourselves? My sister asked. I leaned back slowly against the couch, wincing slightly as my chest reminded me I was still healing. Yes. That's cold, she muttered.
I thought about the hospital ceiling lights.
The empty waiting room chair beside my bed. You taught me that lesson, I said calmly.
Dad finally spoke again.
So that's it?
I looked around my quiet apartment. My peaceful recovery.
My life continuing without their approval.
No, I said softly.
That's balance. 2 weeks later, I had my first follow-up appointment. The cardiologist studied my chart, listened to my heartbeat, then smiled. Everything looks excellent, he said. You recovered very well.
I thanked him and stepped outside into the late morning sun.
For the first time since surgery, breathing felt effortless.
My phone buzzed. Dad. I answered.
The mortgage is due tomorrow, he said carefully.
I know.
We'll manage it, he added quickly, almost defensively. That's good.
There was a long pause.
Then, quietly, he said. Your mother thinks maybe we misjudged the situation.
Misjudged. Not ignored. Not abandoned. Still, it was the closest they had come. I hope so, I replied. Another pause.
You're really not restoring the payments? He asked.
No. The truth didn't feel cruel. It felt accurate.
I understand, he said after a moment.
We hung up without another word.
That evening, I sat on my balcony watching the city lights flicker on. My heart beat steady and strong. Stronger than their approval.
Stronger than their absence.
They thought skipping my surgery was just a scheduling decision. What they didn't realize was that it changed something permanent.
Not my heart. My priorities.